হ্যাঁ, আসসালামু আলাইকুম মামুন ভাই। স্যার আজ থেকে লেট হবে?
ভাই আমি স্যারকে কল দিচ্ছি।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
জি, আসসালামু
ওয়ালাইকুম
আলাইকুম।
আসসালাম রাহমাতুল্লাহ।
জি, শুরু করি। বললো। So good evening to you all. So we are in CS certificate level information technology class. And today we'll discuss learning object 5. It's basically data resource. So here, what we have to learn from here is the management of the data resource of computer using organized and understand the database management concept, an application business information system. So we have to understand the business value of implementing data resource management process technologies in an organization, and as well as here the advantage of a data management approach to managing the data resource of a business, and file processing approach, two types of approach here, and traditional approach, and one is online file processing approach. Database management software, it helps business professions and support to the operation and management of the business, how they help the business, and also the data governance. So this is the total item is here, data resource management, learning object 5. ওই সাউন্ড টাউন ঠিক আছে স্যাররা শোনা যাচ্ছে?
জি স্যার।
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now look here, data resource management. Within this data resource management, we have to understand the data integration, data modeling, data storage, data catalog, data processing, data governance, and data lifecycle, and data security, data architecture, etc. So in order the data administration or data resource management is an organizational function that working in the area of information system and computer science and control of data resource. We know that data resource management is the managerial activities that applies the information system technology, and that was to manage the resource. That resource, a data resource, to meet need of the business for the stakeholder. And this data from internal resource or external resource, because we can collect data through the internal source or also from the external source. And also the each mouse click or that means activities generate fresh piece of data analysis competitive advantage. If we see here data resource, that means database from different system and through the application that's come to data load, then through that raw data, that ultimate will get the finished data and in different way. The data transform information and also the knowledge and as well as wisdom. So the data that represent raw unperceived fact. Raw unperceived facts are the data. And what is information? Information is organized data providing context. Then what is knowledge? Knowledge involves the interpretation of information, forming the basis of the decision, and ultimate wisdom impulse deep understanding and insight, allowing the effective judgment and decision making. Look here. So raw data, then proceed data, we'll get the information. Then from that information, that turns into the knowledge. And based on the knowledge, we will use that knowledge and come for wisdom. So basically, from the raw data, then proceed data, get the information, and from that information, we'll get the knowledge and ultimate wisdom. Look here. Here the, and if we see here, data, from that data, we will get the information. After processing the data, we'll get the information. And from that information, will enrich our knowledge. And from that knowledge, we can understand or integrate actionable item that comes the wisdom, finally decision, that means movement for the change. That means the future action. Hello. So data resource management, it has some activities: data planning, data collection, data storage, data security, data quality, data sharing, and data backup. That start from data planning is meaning that deciding what data is needed and how it would be used. And if you see the data collection, it's meaning gathering data, that means business data, from various source. That source can be internal or external. If we see here, what is the internal source and what is the external source? Internal source means within the organization. For example, if we think regarding Agruni Bank, which is a state-owned bank, they have the difference, that means exchange house in different site, Singapore, Malaysia, Canada, etc. So they collect remittance from our that means who work in that country. They send their money to Bangladesh, and through that channel, remittance comes from that channel. So that data, how much money received from the outside within that country through banking channel, a specific Agrani Bank, it is internal data. And if we think here, through the Bangladesh Bank, you can collect all data, which bank, how much foreign currency collect from the outside. So that data, central data, in the case of Agrani Bank, is the outside data. So bank can collect data in its own source and also from outside, that is external. That data required for decision making. How much remittance should be collect for the next quarter or next year, and take the business decision require that type of data. And we know the Islamic Bank is the highest remittance earner. And government bank, Agruni, Janata Shorali, Krishi Bank also, that they collect the data, remittance. So from the data collection, we require the source, internal or external. That means have to gather data from various source. And that data is stored size. That means keeping data in database or cloud system. The database within the server or organization, or can be used the cloud system. And if we see the data security, that means protecting data from misuse or theft. And the data quality, it meaning that making sure data is correct and complete. Data is correct and complete. And data sharing, giving the right people access to data. that sharing, if you think that all bank use the NID, that means national identification, we have the NID. So all data skipping in the election commission, and that server link with the all banks, or through the API, bank can link with that server, as well as NBR linked the e-return server with each and every banks, as well as NID, that means national server, also IBAS plus plus, owned by the government, Ministry of Finance. All are interrelated. That means they share data each other. So that type of data sharing, meaning that giving the right people or right person access to data. And think about data backup. Its meaning saving copies of data in cases of loss. So here are the data resource management activities through planning to backup that data resource through raw data collection and storage. That data are the asset for the organization as well as the country's asset. Data asset that we're cleaning in the integration and analysis. That data product that went inside database, dashboard, application, all are within this group. So data resource management activities different to data planning, data collection, data storage, data security, data quality, data sharing, data backup, etc. Now think about database management system. So what is database management system? We know database management system is a system software for creating and managing database. It's called DBMS. So the database approach, database management system provides users and programmers with a systematic way to create, retrieve, and update and manage data. So a database management system is the main software tool of the database management approach because it controls the creation, maintenance, and use of the database of an organization and its user. User can be defined within the organization, or a stakeholder can use it. So database management system, application, other database, user, they use database management system for defining, record, query, update, and manage data, and keep them in the store area. That store data within the database management, there are different types of database management system: relational database, hierarchical database, flat file database, object database, etc. So a database management system is a system software for creating and managing database. If we see the an example in here, database management system, if we see a banking information system, look here. So customer all data kept in the CBS software. if start inquiry within the database management system, then all customer transaction, each and every transaction based on the inquiry, that means checking account program, checking, that means saving account program or illustration loan program. For example, if we go for withdraw some money from the ATM card and go to the ATM booth, first after inputting our security code, then it's asked us what you have to do, what you are going to withdraw or deposit. And after deciding what we have to do, then how much money I have to or you have to withdraw, then have to put the data. And our bank account is available of this amount. If match, then it allowed to withdraw the money. Otherwise, it's decline. That means that inquiry work here. So database management system keeping data, and that data used by us in different purpose, not only banking side, each and every database, companies or organization that are the same procedure database management system. And common component of database management system software, common components are database management system engine. Its function is handle data storage, retrieval and update operation, and database definition language, data definition language, DDL. DDL allows user to identify the database structure, table, fields, etc. And if you see here, collect different data from different source, that raw data based on the rules or engine that create raw data clean, that when accurate data, that source go for in different stage. That means customize the data for decision making or information. From that raw data, we'll get the information. That information is used in our business. And data manipulation language, DML, that enable data query, instruction, updating and deletion. And query processor that translate and execute user query. We use SQL command, and database manager that control access to data, that ensure consistency and handle the transactions. Another component is metadata catalog. It's a stored definitions and description of a data. We know the metadata is data about data. And another component, user interface. That user interface provide a way for user to interact with the database. And authorization and security means here its function is manage the user permissions and protect the data from unauthorized users. And backup and recovery system, it's maintaining data safety and helping resource after failure. So the component of database management system softwares are database management system engine, DDL, DML, query processor, database manager, metadata catalog, user interface, authorization and security, backup and recovery system. That all component execute the same function what organization want. So database management systems measure function. This function is data storage management. The purpose of database management system is data storage management, basic purpose or function that efficiently store data in a structured format, for example, or like table. Data retrieval, that means quality retrieval, quickly retrieval data based on the user query. Data manipulation, that function means support in inserting, updating, and deleting data from the database. And if we see the data security, its function is control access through the users on user authentication, and authorization. Backup and recovery, it's ensure, that means data can restore in case of system failure from that backup data. Concurrency control means manage simultaneous data access by multiple users. And data integrity management, if we see here, this described this way, that maintains accuracy and consistency of data using constraint and rules. Data dictionary management, manage metadata. We know metadata means data about data that serves the table definition and data type. So three major function of database: measure function, create, maintain, and use. So to create new database and database application, and that maintain the quality of the data in an organized database, and that use the database on an organization to provide the information that is end user need. So we can say basic three major function of databases: create new database, maintain it with the quality data, and use it from the database. That means that information for the end user needed. And that three things: create, maintain, and use. So the three major users of database management software are to create, maintain, and use the database of an organization. And that database management system that go for that system, operating system, database management system, application program, and then within the database. So create mean database and application development. Maintenance means database maintenance. Use means database integration. So this is the major function of database management system. Now, fundamental data concept. We know within the conceptual framework, a different level of data that has been deserved the difference among different group element of data. And data can be, we can organize the data logically and or into a field, record, file, and database. And if we see here, if we want to write something and can be organized into different letters, and more letters come in, we can create a word, and from the word that we will make the sentences, and more than one sentences we write the paragraph, and with more than one paragraph then we can write an document. Same way here, the letter, word, sentence, paragraph, finally one documents. Same way, data logically organized, character, field, record, file, and database. Look here. So character, field, record, file, database. Look here. That here, character, the most basic logical data element, character, that come here, which consist of the single alphabetic, numeric, or symbol. We know that a character is the most basic element of data that can be observed and manipulated. Look here, bit, we know, the single binary digit, 0 or 1. And byte, this means character, the combination of related bits called byte. And then field means this one. Field means combination of related byte called field. And record mean combination of related fields called the record. And file, combination of related records called the file. And finally database, that combination of related files called database. So a character is the most basic element of data that can be observed and manipulated. So what is character? Character is the most basic element of data that can be observed and manipulated. So character is the most basic element we know. Bit and byte, we know it. More elementary data, the strums to the physical store element provided by the computer hardware, bit and byte. We know the bit is a binary digit, 0 or 1, and byte, 8 bits. So 8 bits make a byte. 8 bits make a byte. Each letter a number, that means 8-bit make a byte. And we know the terms use of description, capacity of a store. Capacity of a store, 1 bit equal to binary digit 0 or 1, and 1 byte mean 8 bit. 1 kilobyte means 1024 bytes. 1 megabyte MB equal to 1024 kilobyte. 1 GB gigabyte equal to 1024 megabyte. And we know the 1 terabyte, 1 TB equal to 1024 gigabyte. So if we see this one here, bit, byte, kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte, etc. is the storage, the capacity of a storage. So here we learn the character. Character is the most basic element of data that can be observed and manipulated. Now the field, this one, field, the next higher level of data is the field or data item. We know that a field consists of a grouping of related character. A field consists of a grouping of related character. A data field, we know this represents the attribute, a characteristic or quality of some entity, for example, object, person, place, or event, etc. If we see the example, an employee's salary is an attribute that is a typical data field used to describe an entity who is an employee of a business. So we can say field are organized such represent some logical order. For example, employee's name. Name can be order, last name, first name, middle name, then the address, city, NID, 18, etc. So keeping the same or one group here in the field. Now the record. Within the field, we keep data that record all of the field used to describe the attribute of entity and group to from the record. A record represents a collection of attributes that describe a single instance of an entity. That can be personal payroll record. If we see the payroll record, we're describing the person or employee's name, his or her NID, 18, and pay structure, etc. within that record. And that record can be fixed length or variable length. That means length, that means দৈর্ঘ্য, কতগুলি ঘর হবে. The fixed length record contains a fixed number, fixed length data field. And for example, if we want to put our mobile digit, we know without country code, our mobile digit is 11. So here, 11 is the fixed record. And variable length record means you can put more than 11 that can be varied, that contain a variable number of field and field length. And we know that another way of looking for a record is represent a single instance of entity. We know each record of an employee file describe one specific employee. Each and every record for each and everyone. Same way, you are the student of articleship, pre-articleship, and each and every your record is mentioning your information, your name, your education, your roll number, your parents' name, your address, your NID, your academic record, etc. within this record. So each record is a name, is your file describe your specific data. If we see that record, we know all of the file used to describe, that is here all of the field used to describe the attribute of entity and group for a record. That data here is used in different way. That means primary key and foreign key. Then what is primary key? Primary key uniquely identify record within the same table. That means your ID, our NID, our identification, and foreign key that connect the record between two different tables. For example, you are here in as a student. You have the identification number, roll number is your primary key. And I'm giving the lecture, and all teachers have a specific ID. Being a member of the institute, we have the unique ID. That unique ID is our primary ID or primary key. And within my table, if your data want to interlink, that your primary key in my table would be the foreign key for link purpose. So we know the primary key is a column or a combination of column is a table that uniquely identify each row in that table. It ensures that each record in the table has a unique identifier. And normally we know the first field in a record is used to store some type of unique identification. Your roll number, our membership number, etc. for the record. And this unique identifier is called the primary key. We know the value of primary key, it can be anything that will serve the uniquely identify one instant for entity. And your roll number or your registration number, it can be primary key. If we see here, so here the primary key, that means if we go for the product as a product ID 1 2 3 or blah blah, then type here. So this is the primary key, and that link to here, that the product, that means product ID here, if that is the item. If we go for foreign key here, same way, foreign key that connect record between two different table. Look here. Here the department ID of an organization, and when this department ID connect with the employees of an organization, that employees have a specific ID, employees ID is the primary key for this table. And for this table, the department ID is the primary key for the department table. But when one employee want to link which department the employee is working, so if want to link here, that department primary key turn into foreign key into the employees table. I think you can understand it. Primary key of one table that can be linked another table, and that primary key turn into foreign key. So a simple explanation, if we see here, primary key, a unique identifier for each record in a table, and foreign key, a field in one table that refers to the primary key in another table. This means here, this foreign key is referred to primary key of another table, here department table. So primary key ensure that each row is unique and not null. Foreign key establish a relationship between two tables. Here establishing the relationship. For example, Straven, one employee, he is the he is working in the administration department. So link with this department table, department specific ID, that means that primary key link with the employee ID 107. So that go for the department ID. And customer ID is a customer table is the primary key. And student ID in a student table is a primary key. And member ID in a member table is a primary key. But in the foreign key, customer ID in an order table is a foreign key. Same way, student ID in a teacher's table is a foreign key. So this is the primary key and foreign key activities. Basically, is connect record to different table. Is because foreign key connect records between two different tables. So here, customer ID is the primary key, its name, and link to the order ID is that primary key is the foreign key. Now, the file. So we have discussed in database, in data, logical organized in character, field, record, file, finally database. Now file. So file, a group of related records from say data file, which is also commonly refers to as the table in a database or a field like file database system. And if you see here, the how files, record and field related to each another. Relation is here, but when it is independent or any other file related to it, a single table may refers to the flat file at different types. As a point of accuracy, terms of flat file may be defined either narrowly or more broadly. That we know what is record. Here record is a single row, each and every row that contains all the field for one entity. Here, A. Rahman is one entity. He is an employee of an organization. His employee ID 1001. He's working in the Department of Finance. His salary is 50,000. He has joined 1/1/2020. This is full record, a single person, a single row. Here, this is the record. Field or column, each one, a specific type of data within each record. The specific means here, example, employee's ID, his name, which department is working, what is his basic salary, and when he joined is different, bola bola, NID, etc. Everything within this line. So is the field or column is field. That field putting data within the record and we will get the file. Field, then record. It's a total record here. Employee's file, within this the file, employee ID, name, department, salary, joining date, etc. is fully a record of employees. So what we have to understand, field mean individual data item. like name or others. Record mean one complete entry, one row record, one row record. Mr. S. Akhtar working in audit department, basic salary 55,000, joining that. So M. Hossain working in Department of Taxes, basic salary and are joining that. A total row is the one complete entry row, one row. That means is the record. That's recorded Mr. Akhtar or S. Rahman, etc. File or table, this collection of all related record, many row. Here, employees file, that means collection of all related record. So employees file is here. So all employees, all data is keeping this file. So here, field, record, file. So that data we can keep in different or selection criteria. That means we know the SKY code. SKY means American Standard Code for Information Interchanges. Is a character encoding standard used for computer and communication system to represent text using number. And here is the character and visual concept. We know that each character is assigned a unique number. Each character is assigned a unique number. For example, and sky code character A, basically a decimal code 65, binary number is that. So computer store and transmit this number in binary format, 0 and 1. If we see here, typing A is stored as 65 or 01000001 in binary digit, line 1. Why it is the matter? Because externalize how computer interpreted and exchanged text, used a programming file format, communication protocol, etc. Now the database. So we have discussed logical organized data. That means we know the data may be logically organized, character, then field, then record, then file, and now database. So we have discussed character, field, record, and file, and now the database. So we know the database is an organized collection of logically related data that designed to easily access, manage, and update. And if you see the example here, banking database, a bank may use database that include the following table. That means customer table, and how many customers they have. So that customer table, customer specific ID, customer name, address, other information. Then account table. So what type of account? Saving account, that means fixed account, and business account. That means account ID, customer ID. That customer ID link with the account. And account type, saving or current balance. This is the account balance. And then another one, transaction table. So what type of transaction is going on? Transaction ID. That transaction ID included which account ID and also which customer and who is dead, when, how much, what type of transaction, debit or credit. That means withdraw or deposit. So here primary key is customer ID. Foreign key, here, look here, customer table. Here, primary key is customer. In a customer ID is the primary key. In the account, foreign key in customer ID, link to customer. Look here, account table. Here, this is the account, primary key. That account link with the customer ID. That customer ID is the primary key. A link here with another table. That now that primary key is now the foreign key for link purpose. Primary key in account, here the, look here, A101 account ID. And foreign key in transaction. When the transaction come, that account ID again the foreign key, that primary key link with the account. So if you see here, customer table, here customer table, one to many, account table, one to many, that the transaction table. And we know that database allows user and systems to store data. That data efficiently and retrieve it as needed, when needed. So we can say tables store different entities like customer, accounts, transaction, all of the table, and relationship that connect those entities using key of each table. This allows powerful structure and a scalable data management. So we can say a database is an organized collection of logically related data that designed to be easily accessed, managed, and updated regularly. Think about here. So here the customer ID, that ID, here that means if you see the banking database table, here, so here this way database can link. So we have discussed the logical, that means data may be logically organized in different way, character field, record file, and finally database. So based on our discuss here, we can answer few MCQ. Look here. A firm decide to enable daily backup. A firm decide to enable daily backups and monthly database optimization. What are they doing? A firm means one organization that decides to enable daily backups and monthly database optimization. What are they doing? It means
C.
routine database maintenance. Routine database maintenance.
Maintenance.
Yes, regular activities means database maintenance ensure performance and data safety over time for that organization of their database.
Hmm.
Yes, now we'll tell. While auditing, you observed a payroll table where multiple employees have the same ID number. Which database principle has been violated? আমরা জানি যে নরমালি আপনার প্রত্যেকটা এমপ্লয়ির আলাদা আলাদা আইডি থাকবে প্রত্যেকটা স্টুডেন্টের আলাদা রোল নাম্বার, একই রোল নাম্বার দুজন আর হতে পারে না। বাট আপনি অডিট করতে গিয়ে দেখতে পারলেন যে একটা পেরোল টেবিলে মাল্টিপল এমপ্লয়িজ একই মাল্টিপল ইউজিকে এমপ্লয়িকে আইডেন্টিফাই করা হচ্ছে একই আইডি, এখানে যে কোনো কারণে হোক। সো এটা কোন ধরনের প্রিন্সিপালকে ভায়োলেট করছে? ইট ভায়োলেটেড
A.
Primary
এন্টিটি
key rule.
ইন্টিগ্রিটি।
Hmm.
Entity integrity meant primary key rule because each primary key must be unique to maintain entity integrity. সেপারেট কারোর সাথে কোনো মিল থাকবে না। দ্যাট মিনস ইউনিক আইডি হবে, রোল নাম্বার হোক, মেম্বারশিপ নাম্বার হোক, এনআইডি নাম্বার, একই এনআইডি নাম্বার কিন্তু দুজনের হবে না কখনোই। সো এখানে সে ভায়োলেট করা হচ্ছে ডাটাবেস প্রিন্সিপালে এন্টিটি ইন্টিগ্রিটি, দ্যাট মিনস প্রাইমারি কি রুলস। নাও a junior auditor deletes a critical data set accidentally, ভুলবশত ডিলিট করে ফেলছে, একজন নতুন কাজে জয়েন দিচ্ছে সে। হুইচ ডাটাবেস ম্যানেজমেন্ট সিস্টেম কম্পোনেন্ট এনশিওর রিকভারি ইজ পসিবল? কোন ধরনের ডাটাবেস আমরা যদি রাখি তাহলে রিকভার করা পসিবল হবে? সেটা হচ্ছে যদি ট্রানজেকশন লগ হিসেবে আমি রাখি, যতটুকু ডিলিট করছে ওই ট্রানজেকশন লগ থেকে আবার এটা আমরা রিকভার করতে পারবো। সো ট্রানজেকশন লগস ট্র্যাক চেঞ্জেস enabling rollback and recovery. Answer C. While using a database management system, FCA enters a query and receive data in seconds. Which component of database management system handle this? আপনি ডাটাবেস ম্যানেজমেন্ট সিস্টেম ইউজ করার সময় আপনি একটা কোয়েরি দিলেন এবং উইদিন এ কয়েক সেকেন্ডের ভিতরে আপনার উত্তর চলে আসলো। এটা কোন ধরনের কম্পোনেন্ট এটা হ্যান্ডেল করে? আমরা কম্পোনেন্ট দেখেছি, we have seen the component of database management system. Here the query processor is the component that handle that type of issue. So a query processor interpret the execute of SQL series efficiently. Answer B. You are comparing a client system, that means IT system, and note one system stores each invoice as a standalone file with no link to customer or product record. Which model is likely used? Here, এখানে আপনি একটা ইনভয়েসের সাথে একটা সিস্টেমে দেখলেন যে ইনভয়েসের সাথে কাস্টমারের লিঙ্ক এবং প্রোডাক্টের লিঙ্ক এখানে আপনার নাই। তো এটা কোন ধরনের মডেল এখানে ব্যবহার করা হয়েছে? সো হিয়ার ইউজ দ্য ট্রেডিশনাল ফাইল প্রসেসিং। আর প্রেজেন্ট ফাইল প্রসেসিং অথবা অবজেক্ট ওরিয়েন্টেড অথবা রিলেশনাল ফাইল ইয়াতে আপনাকে রিলেশন থাকবে, যেমন আপনি প্রাইমারি কি দিয়ে এখানে ফরেন কি হয়ে ওর
রিলেট
রিলেশনটা
করতে হবে।
এখানে ওই রিলেশনটা নাই। সো হিয়ার
হুম।
ট্রেডিশনাল ফাইল সিস্টেম, we know the traditional file system lack relationship between data set. Answer C. Now ওইটার ভিতরে আসছে। Your firm or organization is migrating client record from a spreadsheet to a related database. What key should be defined first to ensure each record is uniquely identifiable?
প্রাইমারি কি?
প্রাইমারি কি, কারণ আপনি মাইগ্রেট করতেছেন ক্লায়েন্টের রেকর্ড, সেখানে একটা রিলেশনাল ডাটাবেজের সাথে, তো এখানে আপনাকে অবশ্যই প্রথম আইডেন্টিফাই করতে হবে প্রাইমারি কি। অনুরূপভাবে আপনি যখন অ্যাকাউন্টসের চার্ট অফ অ্যাকাউন্টস দেখবেন, দেখবেন যে প্রত্যেকটা আলাদা ইউনিক নাম্বার আছে অথবা আলাদা নাম, একই নাম কিন্তু কখনো হয় না। সো দ্য প্রাইমারি কি ইউনিকলি আইডেন্টিফাইজ ইচ রেকর্ড, preventing the duplicates. Answer C. Now, while testing a financial system, an accountant noticed incorrect entries due to a missing validation rules in the software. What database system features it prevent it? So it prevents the constraint because check এই কে কথা কয়েছে So here the constraints enforce rules to ensure accurate and valid data. Answer B. Now an auditor finds that deleting a customer record also removes all sale data linked to the customer. What relation concept is being applied? Here, referral integrity and cascade delete, because ক্যাসকেডিং ডিলিট মেনটেন রেফারাল ইন্টিগ্রেশন এবং এখানে একজন অ্যাকাউন্ট অডিটর বা দেখলো যে কাস্টমারের রেকর্ড ডিলিট করে ফেলছে, রিমুভ করে ফেলছে সেল লিঙ্ক থেকে। এইটা কোন ধরনের রিলেশন কনসেপ্ট এখানে অ্যাপ্লাইড করা হয়েছে? এখানে রেফারাল ইন্টিগ্রিটি, সমস্ত রেফারেন্স ওখান থেকে ডিলিট করা। তো আনসার বি। Which activity ensure understanding a data lines and transformation? So here metadata document, এখানে আসলে মেটাডাটা আমরা জানি যে ডাটা অ্যাবাউট ডাটা, ডাটার সমস্ত তথ্য সেখানে সম্পৃক্ত থাকে, যেমন কোথা থেকে আসলো, অবস্থান কি, কোন লিঙ্ক থেকে আসলো, হ্যাঁ ওইয়ার মতন সেই ডাটা মেটাডাটা। তো মেটাডাটা ডকুমেন্টেশন ট্রেস হাউ ডাটা ইজ সোর্স অ্যান্ড ইউজ, কোথা থেকে আসছে, কারা ইউজ করতেছে, কিভাবে এটা আসলো, এভরিথিং উইদিন দ্য মেটাডাটা। সো আনসার বি। Which database management system component convert logical query into efficient execution plans? So
কোয়ারি
here,
অপটিমাইজার।
query optimizer restructure query for best performance, because query database management system one type of components that convert logical queries into efficient execution plans. Answer A. Now, why is normalization? A normalization means logical design of database crucial in database, because prevents data redundancy and anomalies, because normalization is structure data for consistency and efficiency. Answer D. In data resource management, what is a major risk if metadata is poorly managed? যদি সঠিকভাবে বা খারাপভাবে ম্যানেজ করা হয়, রক্ষণাবেক্ষণ করা হয় ডাটাবেস
বি
ম্যানেজমেন্ট, তাহলে
বি মিস ইন্টারপ্রিটেশন।
misinterpretation and misuse of data, because inaccurate metadata leads to wrong data understanding and decisions. Which of the following best represents a database? ডাটাবেস সম্পর্কে এই চারটের ভিতরে কোনটা ভালোভাবে বলেছে? সো
সি
integrated collection of related data is the best representative of a database. So database, that means integrated collection of related data, is the database. Now, a field in a table represent, also that means we have discussed regarding this. A field in a table represent a column of related data. Answer B. Now, what ensure referral integrity in related and relational database. What ensure referral integrity in relational database? That means foreign key that ensure referral integrity in relation
Hmm.
database.
Yes, sir. G.
A bit stores one or two
স্যার ফরেন
values.
কিটা একটু ডেসক্রাইব
ফরেন কি আমরা দেখেছি যে একটা টেবিলে প্রত্যেকটা আলাদা আলাদা টেবিল, প্রত্যেকটার এক টেবিলের সাথে যখন আর এক টেবিলের আপনার ইন্টার রিলেশন করা হয় ডাটাবেজের ভিতরে, তখন এক টেবিলের প্রাইমারি কি অন্য টেবিলে লিঙ্ক করার উদ্দেশ্যে সেটা তখন ফরেন কি হয়ে যায়, যেটা আমরা চিত্রেও দেখেছি এর আগে। সো এইখানে যেটা বলছে, এই যে রেফারেল মানে কি, আপনি রেফার করতেছেন রিলেশন সৃষ্টি করা, রিলেশনাল ডাটাবেজের সাথে এক টেবিলের সাথে আর এক টেবিলে যখন আপনি রিলেশন করতেছেন, এইটা রেফারেলটা কোনটা হচ্ছে, ফরেন কি এর মাধ্যমে। এই ফরেন কি দেখলে তখন আগে দেখা যাবে এটা কোন টেবিল থেকে আসছে, ওই টেবিলে এই ফরেন কিটা তখন আমার প্রাইমারি কি। সো হিয়ার আনসার ইজ ফরেন কি ইন আওয়ার লাস্ট ইয়াতে, দ্যাট ফরেন কি ensures referral integrity in relation database. Here answer C. And a bit stores, that means one or two value, that means 0 or 1. A data dictionary contains metadata. Data dictionary আমরা হয়তো দেখছি অথবা না হলে আরো দেখবো নিচে, এখন একটু পরেই আমরা পড়বো। ডাটা ডিকশনারিতে মেটাডাটার থাকে। সো হিয়ার এ ডাটা ডিকশনারি কন্টেইনস মেটাডাটা, আনসার বি। হুইচ কি প্রিভেন্টস ডুপ্লিকেট এন্ট্রিজ ইন এ ট্যাবল? একটা টেবিলে ডুপ্লিকেট এন্ট্রি দিতে দেয় না কোন কি? সেটা হচ্ছে প্রাইমারি। প্রাইমারি কি একজনের আইডেন্টিটি, আপনার এনআইডি, আপনার রোল নাম্বার, এটা আরেকজনের নাই। Which of the following is not a data resource management activity? Here, four activities in here. Data warehousing is a data resource management activity. Data modeling, also the data resource management activity. Metadata management, it is also the data resource management activity. But
In number C number.
yeah, data center maintenance is not a data resource management activity. Is that data center maintenance in different activities? So data center maintenance is physical infrastructure management, not data. Answer C. What does data resource management primarily focus on? Data resource management primarily focus on managing data as a corporate asset or organizational asset. Data is the asset of an organization. Data is the asset of a country. So here, data resource management primarily focus on managing data as a corporate or organizational asset. We know that data resource management and ensure data is organized, protected, and available when required. Which of the following represent knowledge? We know knowledge means insight from data interpretation. We know knowledge is gained from analyzing and understanding information. And that knowledge come from the information. That information come from the data, that means proceed data. So here, insight from data interpretation is knowledge. We know knowledge is gained from analyzing and understanding information. That information comes from proceed data. Answer C. Which of the following is the core function of database management system? Core function is data modeling, because data modeling helps define database structure. So data modeling is a core function of database management system. Answer B. Which of the following ensure only authorized access to the database? Here, security manager. We know the security managers ensures access rules of the database. So security manager ensure only authorized access to the database. Answer B. What is a character? We studied. So character in a database structure is
B.
Number B, single
yes,
letter,
a
digit or
single
symbol.
letter, digit or symbol. And what is the smallest unit of digital bit data? That we know it bit. Answer C. So we have complete our one class. Now we'll go for break for 15 minutes and then we'll start our next class. And today we will complete our LO-05, Learnings Object 5, Database Management. So till then, we have to wait for 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Okay, sir. Ji.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
স্যার কয়টায় শুরু করবে ক্লাস?
তার তো 15 মিনিট সময় নিয়েছে, 40-এ শুরু করার কথা তো।
ও আচ্ছা।
স্যারেরা আমরা আবার শুরু করি।
জি স্যার।
So welcome you again. We are in information technology class. Learning Object 5, Data Resource Management. And part of data resource management, database structure. So database structure, we know the relationship among the many individual data elements stored in database based on one of the several logical data structure or models. That structure or models are hierarchical model, network model, relational model, object-oriented model, multi-dimensional model. So database structure is relationship among the data element in databases are based on the several logical structure. 5 fundamental database structure. That 5 logical database structure are hierarchical model, that means organized data in a tree-like structure. And network model allow the many-to-many relationship using a graphic structure. Relational model use the table relation to store data, most widely used model. An object-oriented model store data as a object, data plus method, similar to object-oriented programming. And multi-dimensional model store data in cubic for analyze and report, commonly used in data warehouse. And we know the database management system that packages are very designed to use a specific data structure to provide end user with quickly easy access to information stored in database. So 5 fundamental database structure here. Now that 5 database structure we'll discuss. Number 1, hierarchical database, that means an organizational structure that organize data tree like a structure. গাছের মতো, look here. একটা ডিপার্টমেন্ট, তার সাথে অন্য কার সাথে সম্পর্ক এবং এর সাথে কার সম্পর্ক। So organizational chart are just like organizational chart are also level, top level management, middle level management, first line management, and etc. So under the CEO, there are different types of executive and also the department. One department, that department is the parent department, has many employees. Here is the children. So, but each employees belong to only one parent. Look here, department, data element, and within the organization have 2 projects running by the department, project A, project B, and within project A, 2 employees are working. Here are the, so is the organizational structure, hierarchical model. So that means tree model, fundamental database structure. They represent the 3 basics way to develop and express the relationship. So here, hierarchical model, then network model, that means network database model, many to many relationship between records. So each only one parent network model permit to the multiple parent record. Data is organized using graphical structure, and it provides flexibility to model complex relationship. For example, if we see here, department A within an organization, department B within that same organization. So within department 1, 2 employees are working, employees 1, employees 2, and another employee working in department B. But that organization take the project A and B. So project A, that here working employees 1, employees 2, as well as employees 3. And same way, project B, here working only employee 3 and employee 1. So this is the network model. We know a database that runs in a several server in the network and is available to authorized user. A database or network use address, a database organization, a database or network used address, database organization method that allows of data relationship in a net-like form, just like network. So here is the networking structure. And now we'll see the relational model that we discussed, relation with one table to another table. That primary key go for the foreign key with another table joining here. So a database that can be perceived as a set of table and manipulated according to the relationship model of data. Here, a relationship database organizes data into table. That table, that means call here relation, made up of rows and column, where here row represent the record and column represent field or attribute. Each table, one table, another table. Each table has a primary key. Here primary key, here primary key, to uniquely identify each record. But table are linked with the foreign key. For example, primary key of department table, here linked with the employee table, that go for the foreign key. So each database include a set of system, catalog, tables that describe the logical and physical structure of the data. So here we have seen joining the employees and department table in a relational database enable to access data selectively in both table at the same time. So relational database is a set of table and manipulate the accurate relational model of data. Now the object-oriented model. Object-oriented. That is store data in the from the object, just like the object-oriented programming we have seen in our last class, previous that last Friday. Object-oriented programming, OOP. Each object contains both data and function. Data here the attributes. That function is the methods to process the data. And we know that if we see here, look the features here. Here is think the bank account object. Here attribute the customer, balance of the customer account, figure of interest, and the operation is can be deposit, that would be amount, withdrawn, that also be amount, and ownership. So here inherently that check the account object, that object, how much limit or credit limit is there, and daily or monthly statement is available or not. That operation calculate the interest owed, and print monthly statement is the account subject. Saving account object attribute the number of withdrawal, how many time the customer or account holder can withdraw their money, quarterly statement or not, an operation calculate the interest that is paid or not, and print the statement. It is the object. So the checking and saving account object can inherit common attribute and operation from the bank account object. We can see the here the features of object-oriented models is data and function are bundled together inside the object. An object can inherit properties and behavior from the object. An object can be behave differently used to their class definition and support multimedia, CAD, and other non-tabular data format. That means complex type of data used here. Here, a multimedia context program, real-time system, because bank always use the real-time database system, real-time online database. So object-oriented database model that is stored data in the form of object. And we know there's just like object-oriented programming. Now the multi-dimensional model. And multi-dimensional model is designed to handle complex analytical queries in real time. And sometimes that use data warehouse, that is online analytical processing, OLAP system. And OLAP system means online analytical processing, a technology for analyzing multidimensional data from multiple perspectives. In here, for example, regional sale, time, duration, product, profitability, item, etc. Support the complex calculation, train analysis, and scenario based management for taking the decision by the management for the future. And another one, multi-dimensional online analytic procedure, that is cubic based OLAP. The data is stored to pre-gathered multi-dimensional vary and optimized for the first inquiry performance. If we see here the picture, look here, example of different dimensional database. Here, cubic analysis, for example, reason, sale margin, product, and time, actually sale and budgeted sale. Same way, look here, product wise. Here the sale and margin, here the product, and also here the difference regional activities. That means based on the region, for example, east region, west region, time or duration, each and every site can be analyzed for taking the decision for the organization. It organizes data into a cubic with dimension like time, geography, product to support the fast and flexible analysis. And if you see here the tools using this model, OLAP server, BI tools, query language used here within the multi-dimensional model of the database structure. So finally, we can say here, basic thing is understanding there the data structure or model are 5 types: hierarchical model, network model, relational model, object-oriented model, multidimensional model, etc. Now, if we see that 5 model, if we go for the summary, and that the hierarchical model description that organize data in a tree-like structure with parent-child relation. And network model, we have seen always many-to-many relations use a graphical structure, and relational model that use the table relations to store data, most widely used model. Generally, that type of model we are using and most widely use it. Object-oriented model that is store data, object, that object means data with the method similar to object-oriented programming. And multi-dimensional model that is store data in cubic for analysis, reporting, commonly used data warehouse, and that type of analysis help to the organizational policymaker to go for any new innovation or any model or new innovation of new product, introduce the new product or service, etc. So, and now the evaluation of data structure, that data structure, how evaluate? Look here. Use the relational relation to the general purpose business system. And multidimensional use for analytical for the reporting. And network and hierarchical use for legacy system. An object-oriented network database structure used for multimedia and complex data modeling. So, what is the strength of hierarchical data model? The strength is a simple structure. First, data retrieved to one-to-many relation. But negative thing is that a structure poor flexibility, difficult to modify it. That means the fixed sometimes, that means legacy banking system, data storage, etc. And if you see the network database model that handle the complex many-to-many relationship, more flexible than hierarchical, but complex structure, difficult to design and maintain it. For example, telecom, transport network, etc., the network database model. And relational database model is the easy to understand where and who the relation, powerful query via SQL, widely supported and widely uses this database model. But it's slower for large analytical queries, but it is not ideal for the multimedia and other things. Sometimes business apps, accounting, ERP, CRM, all are used the relational database model. And object-oriented database model, if you see here, they store complex data type, inherent object-oriented programming benefit, and it the less manual tools, slower adoption because object-oriented, so use the multimedia and simulation. And multimedia, that means multidimensional, is the fast query performance, complex setup, but data warehouse by house use here. Now the database development. Look here. Database development is at the life cycle. The database development life cycle, it start with requirement analysis. What type of database required for the organization or owner? And based on the requirement, have to design that database. That after designing, evaluation and selection start. Then after selecting the database, design is the logically and physically. Both type of design require for a perfect database. After designing logically and physically, then it creating the database and implement it within the organization. And data load from the previous system within this new system. Then testing is tuning it for better performance. And success, the data start operation and maintain it continuously. This way, the database growth and change can be happen. So if you see, database development is the structure process of designing, building, testing, and deploying a database system to store and manage data effectively. And if you see here, look, this is the database here connected to the API, and it involved both technical architecture and user requirement to ensure the system is accurate, scalable, and secure. Now the database development. Database development of the different phase we have seen. It can be database development life cycle. So requirement analysis is the first step. If we see the right side, look here, requirement analysis, conceptually design it, then logical design, after accepting, then physical design, then implement it, then test it, then deployment it, then continuous maintenance and optimization. So this overall go for the database life cycle. So here requirement analysis, the gathered business need, what type of database structure required. identify stakeholder and data resource. Then conceptual design that create entity relationship diagram that define the entity customer, order, other stakeholders and relationships. Then have to logically design it, map it here to the data model. Then normalize data. Then physical design it, have to choose the what type of database management system should use here. Then optimize the index, other storage. Then implementation come here. Write the create table, DDL, DML, we know the insert data here. Then finally test it. Validate data integrity, performance and security. The deployment with the migrate the or produce with the backup or migrate the data from the previous system or old system, and maintenance, monitor, performance, update, patch management, security management, everything within the maintenance stage. So we can say that database development life cycle start from requirement analysis and continuation at the maintenance and optimization. Within both sides, here the conceptually design it, logical design, physical design, then implementation, testing that database, deployment the database, and continue monitor it. So this is the database development life cycle. Look here, types of database. Types of database, we have seen SQL, that means relational, then table, row column related, best for banking industry, inventory management, SQL, MySQL, etc. And NoSQL document, just like document, mobile app, etc. So that type of database, one where data warehouse, that means business analysis done from here, time series, factor, etc. Look here, type of data is basically, we can say here, relational database, network database, peripheral database, object-oriented database, non-SQL or non-hierarchical, non-networking database. So data warehouse use the organization, enterprise server, operational database, working group server here. Another hypermedia database, that means their database contains of hyperlinked pages to multimedia text, etc. And a distributed database that and database management, distributed database, that means through the cloud computing networking, the database from within the server can be entered from the remote answer, that means remotely any employee, any stakeholder can, if his or her access, they can use the database through the network. And sometimes that type of database, that means externally connected to the table and import data from externally and keep it the internal, use it for the business purpose and decision making. Data resource management have some specific item here. For example, data dictionary. So we'll discuss here data dictionary, metadata, data warehouse, data mining, data mars, database integration, database maintenance. And what is it? A data dictionary. Look here, data dictionary is a centralized repository of metadata, information about the data in a database. And we know a data dictionary is a database management catalog. A dictionary contains metadata. And we also know that metadata means data about data. It describes the structure of data, definition of data, relationships of data, and content of data element that help both developers and end users understand how data is organized and used. If we see here, so we can say a data dictionary is a database management catalog that containing metadata. And metadata means data about data that describe the data structure, definition, relationship, and contain the element. Why this is metadata? Because it helps both developers as well as end user to understand how data is organized and used. Now the metadata. We have seen metadata is a data about data. It describes, explain, location, or manage the information resource, adding to the discovery, organize, and use. And metadata contextualize the other data, provide the information such as when and how it was gathered, when and how the data was gathered, which makes the data user easier to find, understand, use, and manage. So key types of include describe structure are, we know the metadata improves audit trail, data validation, and compliance, because here they provide the information when and how the data was gathered. It's crucial in data governance, reporting accuracy and system audit, but types of metadata are descriptive, means describe content for discovery and identification. For example, title, author, data created, who created that data. A structural type is it show how data is organized or related, that within the table relationship in a database. An administrative purpose provide the technical information and access right, who can access within this data, what the authentication and file size, format, access permission, etc. And business or statistical type is here describe source of data, definition of data, purpose of data in context, etc. So metadata is providing information such as when and how data was gathered. Now the data warehouse. Look here. A data warehouse is a centralized repository used to store large volume of historical data, because we are saying here warehouse, collected from various sources. And if you see the key features of data warehouse, subject oriented, for example, organized around key business area, for example, sale, finance, marketing, inventory, etc. Integrate that data, that means combination data from multiple source that can be from the ERP or CRM or file, etc. Time variant that store historical data to support trend analysis. Then non-volatile means data is stable and not frequently updated or deleted. Optimized for query because it's structured for fast, ready to analyze operation, because we know it is designed to specifically for reporting, business intelligence, and data analysis, not for the daily transaction purpose. So data warehouse data used for a specific purpose, reporting, business intelligence, and data analysis, not for daily transaction purpose. And we know the popular tools are Microsoft QSS Server, Oracle Data House, and Amazon, etc. So use case of accounting and audit in our case, it compare financial performance across the time. It helps for analyzing anomalies or fraud trend. Regulatory compliance reporting can be possible through the data warehouse data. Then supporting a strategic business decision can make by the organization owner and take the business properly. So here, look here, data source. That source can be database, another CRM, ERP, flat file, and then process the data within this warehouse. And from that warehouse, you can take data mart, we'll learn here. And then user can report it, query it, and data, based on data, can take any decision. Now the data mining. What is data mining? Data mining is a process of discovering useful pattern, trend analysis, and relationship from large database using a statistical, mechanical learning, and database technique. We know the features of data mining is pattern discovery. কোন ধরনের হচ্ছে বা pattern. Find the recurring trend or a structure. That means customer behavior. And classification. That means assigning item to categorize, risk level, clustering, grouping it. Associated rules, that means identify the relation. Prediction, use the historical data for forecasting for the future outcome. Because data mining helps organization uncover insight for decision making, forecasting, and fraud detection. And data mining also help the forensic audit for the fraud detection, transaction verification, etc. So data mining process start from data collection, data processing, data mining it, pattern it, data explore it, and knowledge gather from that mining. Based on that data pattern, can take any decision by the organization owner. So how data mining extract business knowledge from a data warehouse? This is the database. Select on data from targeted data. Data turns into information. And data mining, that means pattern. Which type of customer, what type of customer, and how much they purchase, train, time, etc. So gather knowledge from take the business knowledge from the pattern. That pattern comes from the data mining. Why data mining is important? Because it detects the fraud and unusual transaction. And it improves the risk assessment. It supports the strategic planning and budgeting. Data mining helps in performance analysis and regulatory compliance also. Now the data marts. What is data marts? Data marts is a smaller, focused version of the data warehouse. Because here it's focused on a single area. For example, accounting part or taxation or sale person, etc. And extract from the central warehouse to other source is deliver quickly result due to the smaller data set. And data mart designed for a specific user for the team because it meet the specific need for a particular business unit or department. And you can say the finance department, audit department, sales department, HR, accounting, marketing, etc., or internal audit. So all data mart is a smaller focused version of a data warehouse. And what is the benefit? Understanding data mart or use the data mart. Data mart quickly access to the financial analysis. It support the internal control review. It's aid to department specific reporting. It's enhance compliance, checks, and fraud analysis also. So look here from the source data, starting, taking data warehouse, and from a focus group or a specific smaller part, take the data mart, and from that pattern, take the answer or result, and based on the pattern or specific, quickly take the decision by the owner of the organization for future action to achieving organizational mission, vision, and goal. So data mart. Now the database integration. Integration that refers to the process of querying a database to extract the specific data or insight using the query language. Most commonly use the SQL, a structured query language. So purpose of database integration, retrieve a specific data to answer business and also the audit queries. Method use SQL queries. Tools use database management system platform. And users are, database integration users are accountants, auditors, forensic accountant, forensic auditors, analyst, and IT profession. That queries can be customized based on the chart of account of that organization, as well as internal control criteria of that particular organization and audit objectives. So database integration, it helps to retrieve specific data to answer the business. Now the database maintenance. Look here, database maintenance required because it ensures accuracy for financial reporting. It maintains data confidentiality and integrity. Database maintenance properly, it helps in compliance with the audit and data retention policies. We know that data maintenance refers to the routine tasks performed to ensure a database remains efficient, effective, secure, accurate, and available for the user of the data for that within this organization. It's essential for avoiding data corruption, performance issues, and system downtime. And different types of tasks have to do for the database maintenance. Firstly, data backup. Because data backup is the regular saving of copy of data to prevent loss in case of failure or data corrupt. And index optimization, rebuilding or reorganize index of improved query speed. And if you see the data integrity check is validate the accuracy, consistency of stored data. Security audit, it review the permission, user, role, who can use it, and access log, who can access within the system, and database tuning that adjusts the system configuration for better performance, and archiving all data, moving historical data to the separate storage to enhance speed and manage data size, manage the size. Update statistics is referred the refreshing internal data access path to reflect correct data distribution. And software update or patch management that involves the install the database management system update to fix the bug and enhance security. So database maintenance refers to the routine tasks and for efficient, secure, accurate, and available of data for the user. Now, two things: file processing. File processing means method of storing, retrieving, and managing data in files using a computer system before database become widely adopted. At that, file processing are two types: traditional file processing and online file processing. So, if we see here the understanding the file processing essential for comparing modern database system and traditional method. And if we see here file processing aspect, what type of data within the file is stored format. That means data is stored in a file, flat file, text file, or binary, and program dependency, each program handle own file, leading to the duplication. File are not linked, so cross reference is difficult. Manual control is the traditional file processing, low flexibility there. But that traditional file processing is an early method that used for store or manage data. Traditional file processing that has some limitation, that high risks, error, or inconsistency, time consuming, and inefficient for large database, not scalable or secure for the modern business need that the traditional file processing. Its characteristic was that change in file format require update to all program using the file. And same data is stored in multiple files. That means inconsistency. And data can be shared limitedly within the traditional file processing because difficult to share data across the applicant or department or the users. All users cannot use the same data within the traditional file processing. No data integrity check easily to have involved the inconsistency. Manual file handling within the traditional file processing because file creation, editing, and retyping were mostly manual, so duplicate can be possible. So, but if we see the online file processing is the method of processing file in real time via a computer system that is continuously connected, that enable instant access, update quickly, and retype data as transaction occurs. So it's the real-time access because user can access and modify data immediately for multiple location in the online file processing. The online file processing support multiple user working simultaneously on the same data at the same time, and data is instantly updated as soon as a transaction is entered within the online file processing. And interactive processing with the direct feedback and error handling online file processing. And we know the system dependency is require constant internet and network availability required within the online file processing because internet or network must be within the online file processing, and it is online banking system use the online file processing for real-time transaction update, and cloud accounting software use it, ERP system use online file processing, audit log update instantly for the compliance check through the online file processing. So online file processing is the method of processing files in real time via a computer system that is continuously connected, enabling instant access, updating, and retrieval of data as transactions occurs. So now within the our database data resource management, here few objective is here. We can participate because object-oriented databases store data in object contains attribute and method because object encapsulates data for the related behavior. Which of the following is the example of metadata? Example of metadata is the author and date a report was created. আমরা দেখেছি মেটাডাটা হচ্ছে একটা ডাটার উৎস, কোথায় হয়েছে, কিভাবে আসছে, কে ক্রিয়েট করছে, সমস্ত তথ্য সেখানে থাকে বা
জি
মানে পাওয়া যায়। So here the author and that date a report was created is the we can say it is metadata because metadata describe এই কাছাকাছি করে metadata describe attributes like author, created data, file type, etc. In an accounting system, metadata helps. Accounting system metadata কি help করে? Define files like invoice number, date, and customer ID because metadata defines how data is structured and labeled. What is a data mart? We know data mart
বি
is subset
সাবসেট
of data warehouse focused on a department. A data mart is a smaller, subject-specific version of a data warehouse. Answer B. Which component of a database holds metadata?
ই
Metadata hold করে কে?
ডিকশনারি
Data dictionary. We know the data dictionary store metadata about database element. Metadata is about data about data. Now the scenario base here few. During a cyber risk audit, you access an online file processing system used by a stockbrokers. Which control is most important in this real-time system? Here, control,
B, real-time validation.
real-time validation and transaction logging, because online system must log and validate transactions instantly to prevent errors and fraud. In this case, answer is B. A legacy accounting system use traditional file processing with separate ledgers and customer record. During system reconciliation, multiple versions of same invoice are found. What fundamental issue is this? Here,
C,
G, data
টয়লেট
redundancy
থাকতে
due
পায়খানা
to
দিচ্ছে
ওর পেটটা ভালো আছে ও সুন্দর যা খায় সুন্দরভাবে সে ইয়ে করে হজম শক্তি ভালো
ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে, এই সাউন্ড বন্ধ করে দাও।
সে ভোরে উঠে সকালে উঠে ভোরের যে অক্সিজেনটা এটা অনেক উপকার
আপনার যারা কো হোস্ট আছেন ওনারা একটু
একটু
ওনাকে
রাইস
মিউট
খাইতে
করে দেন।
চায় বলছি কিন্তু আমি ঘরের মানুষ খায় না আমি পিৎজা
উইলিয়াম, রাজা বাদশার কারবার হচ্ছে।
জি স্যার।
আচ্ছা শুনেন, তো here the data
তার
redundancy
ভুলে ভালে
due to
হয়ে গেছে তো।
lack of normalization. So we know that traditional file systems lack relational কি বলে integrity, causing duplication. Answer C. Now, which is an example of online file processing? Online processing, file processing example here.
B,
Yes, bank ATM
transaction.
ATM update data in real time. It's online data processing. Your firm create a financial data mart for the internal audit team, which the risk arise in the data mart is not refreshed regularly from the data warehouse. Here risks
Number
arise
C,
audit decision based on the outdated or inaccurate data. কারণ আমার সিদ্ধান্ত পুরানো ডাটার উপরে হবে যেহেতু আপডেট হয় না। We know that still data is data mart can lead to the poor audit judgment. Another scenario base, a retail chain shop collect customer data from online sale, loyalty card, and in-store purchases. Management want to avoid duplicate record and ensure consistent customers information across the department. Which data resource management actively is most appropriate? So here
Data integration.
resource management, data integration, because we know data integration combines data from multiple sources into a unified views, ensuring consistency and reducing duplication across the systems. And another one, a non-listed bank restricted employees access so that customer financial data can only be viewed by authorized staff. Which aspect of data resource management is
C, data security.
applied? Data security, because data security ensure that sensitive business data is protected and accessed only by authorized users. Answer C. Now, a startup e-commerce company notice incorrect product prices due to outrageous information in its database. The company decide to regularly update and validate its data. This action focus on improving data quality, because data quality ensure accuracy, completeness, and reliability of businesses data used in decision making? Answer D. A trading organization stores historical sales data to analyze long-term trends and support strategic decisions. And which system best support this requirement? We
ডাটা
know the system is data warehouse because a data warehouse stores large volume of historical data that optimizes for analysis and decision support. Answer B. Now, a freight forwarding company experiences a system failure and risks losing delivery records. To recover quickly, it relies on regularly stored copies of data. Which data resource management practices is being used within this freight forwarding company?
ডাটা ব্যাকআপ
Use data backup because data backup involves creating copies of data to restore information after system failure or data loss. Answer B. Chief marketing officer of a company wants to analyze customer purchasing patterns to create personalized offer. Which data resource management technique support this goal? This technique is
মাইনিং
data mining because data mining helps identifying patterns and trend in a large database, supporting business decision making for that organization for it to achieve the business mission, vision, and goal. A plastic manufacturing company ensure that the same supplier information is not stored multiple times across different database. This practice mainly aim to reduce data inconsistency
ইনকনসিস্টেন্সি
because reducing duplicate data minimize inconsistency and improve reliability of business information. So answer A. A multinational company defines rules for how long customer data should be stored and when it must be deleted to comply
ডাটা
with the legal
গভর্নেন্স
requirements. This is an example of data governance because data governance involves policies, rules, and responsibilities for managing data throughout its life cycle. যেমন আমাদের রয়েছে কোম্পানিজ অ্যাক্টে রয়েছে আমাদের ফাইন্যান্সিয়াল ডাটা 12 ইয়ার্স প্রিজার্ভ করতে হবে। সিকিউরিটিজ লয়ে রয়েছে ফাইন্যান্সিয়াল মানে ডাটা 7 ইয়ার্স প্রিজার্ভ করতে হবে। এটা হচ্ছে রুলস। এখন এটাকে আপনাকে
সিকিউরিটির ডাটা কত বছর স্যার 17
7 ইয়ার্স
7 ইয়ার্স
7
7
বছর।
বছর আর হলো কোম্পানির জন্য
কোম্পানির জন্য মানে আসলে সব কোম্পানির জন্যই, কিন্তু সিকিউরিটিজ ল মানে যেসব কোম্পানিগুলি লিস্টেড রয়েছে
লিস্টেড তাদের জন্য
তাদের বলছে এটা তো মিনিমাম, কিন্তু
আচ্ছা
ওই কোম্পানি তো আবার ওটা তো আবার কোম্পানি, তখন
কোম্পানি অ্যাক্টের মধ্যে লিস্টেড
কোম্পানি একটা কমপ্লেন্স করতে হবে। কিন্তু
আচ্ছা
কথা হচ্ছে যদি কোনো ইস্যুতে লিগ্যাল কোনো সমস্যা থাকে সেটা আজীবন সংরক্ষণ করতে হবে। যে মনে করেন আপনার কোনো
আচ্ছা
একটা কেস হয়ে গেছে কোনো একটা ফাইলে বা কোনো একটা ইয়াতে,
জি
সেটা আপনি 12 বছর গেলে আপনি যদি বলেন যে কোম্পানি যে একটা আছে 12 বছর রাখা, 12 বছর রাখছি আমি পড়ে ফেলেছি, তাইলে হবে না,
হবে না
কারণ ওইটার জন্য আলাদা, কারণ এগুলি হচ্ছে ডাটা গভর্নেন্স।
হুম
A human resource department ensure employees' data is complete, up to date, and free from errors before generating payroll reports. Which data resource management objective is being achieved? Is that data accuracy? Because accurate data ensure reliable payroll processing and prevents business error. Answer B. A private company wants to centralize system where all departments can access the same real-time data for faster decision making. Which solution best support these requirements? Solution is centralized database system because a centralized database provide a single source of truth, improving data consistency and decision making. A decision make for that organization to achieve the organizational goal. Answer C. So that's all are the scenario based. So this way, we have completed our learning object 5. That means data resource management part. So our next class will be next Friday, 7 p.m. We will start from learning object 6. So this way we will complete our syllabus, inshallah. Do you have
স্যার
any question? Yes, sir.
কোশ্চেন নাই স্যার, ওই স্লাইডগুলি যদি স্যার শেয়ার করে দিতেন তাহলে ভালো হতো।
এটা আগের গুলি পান নাই ইমেলে?
পেয়েছি স্যার।
তাহলে এটা বলা লাগবে নাকি? এটা তো দিবই তো আসলে। এটা তো আপনার পড়াইছে, এটা আমার দেওয়ার দায়িত্ব। আমি রাত্রেবেলায়
জি
দিয়ে দেবো ইমেলে। জি।
জি স্যার, থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।
আপনাদের কি স্পেসিফিক গ্রুপ নাই যে হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে?
হ্যাঁ
জি
আছে
স্যার
স্যার।
আছে।
আমি কি লিংক হয়েছিলাম জানি না, দেখেন তো একটু ইয়ে দিয়ে একটু আমাকে একটু লিংকটা শেয়ার করে নাকি।
জি জি স্যার, ক্লাস ক্যাপ্টেন যারা আছেন ওনারা মনে হয় শেয়ার
এটা
করে
শেয়ার,
নেন।
একটু শেয়ার করে দিন, তাহলে ওইটা হলো গ্রুপে দিয়ে দেবো।
স্যার ইমেলে তো পেয়েছিলাম।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, ইমেলে তো দিবই, সমস্যা নাই। তারপর হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ থাকলে অনেক সময় ইয়ে হয় আর কি, যে দিয়ে দিলাম, অসুবিধা নেই। তো ঠিক আছে স্যারেরা, ভালো থাকবেন। আজকে
জি
আমরা
স্যার।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম স্যার।
ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম, ভালো থাকবেন।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম
দেখা
স্যার।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
নেক্সট ফ্রাইডে ইনশাল্লাহ। জি।
জি স্যার, থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।